Hi, this is Marcel of Marcel on Tech, and I hope you've had an amazing end of year, and I'm really looking forward to 2024, both for the tech that's coming out and of course to be able to share that with you on this channel. So one of the things I wanted to talk to you first and foremost this year was about a brand new company from nothing, which is called CMF. And they are creating what looks to be some really good value, low budget smartwatches and earbuds. So I've been testing these out for the last week, and I want to share with you whether they are worth your time and money. Well, let's get into it. Okay, so because we're talking about both of these products, I'm going to run them side by side. We're going to look at the design, then we're going to talk about functionality and what my thoughts are on them as well. So let's take a quick look at the earbuds. But then, of course, most importantly, if we open up the box, they are quite well presented there and they look pretty decent. Now, the specs of these earbuds are actually very, very similar to OnePlus's mid-range €100 priced devices. Now these, I'm going to tell you the price of these in a moment, but I was very surprised and very impressed as well. Continuing to take a little look around, we've got USB Type-C, of course, but we don't have wireless charging, unfortunately. They come in 3 colorways. This is the gray version, they have a white one, and they have a red one as well. And if we're looking at the watch, then we can see that it looks like this. I've been wearing this for the last week, and one of the strongest features of this device is the battery life. And if you can see that there, you can actually see that it's still on 17%, and I've had this going for 5 days solidly. So I have been really, really impressed with the actual battery life of this watch. Now, going through the design again, we've got a little speaker grill on the side. We've got a single push button there, and then there is literally nothing else anywhere else. Of course, we've got our sensors on the underside, and we have a quick release for the bands. And this one is, again, the gray color. This comes in, again, the same colorways as it does on the earbuds as well. So very, very good. Light, very lightweight, very comfortable, easy to put on, a decent silicone band actually that's comfortable, but it's not perfect as you would imagine. And again, the price point is ridiculous. And I will definitely mention what I feel, and you've probably already seen it, what is the very best feature of this watch. Let's take a closer look. Okay, so taking a closer look at these two products, we've got the Watch Pro here. So one of the things that I've been really impressed with is the panel. So in terms of usability, we obviously have a push button here, which allows us to scroll through all of our built-in apps. Now this is one grid version. You can have it in a list version as well, which obviously has the title of it, but I quite like this grid version as well. And you've got various functionality ranging from, of course, music controls. You've obviously got to connect the app to playlist there. You've got oxygen measurements, which are actually decidedly accurate. It takes a little bit of time, but it is actually very, very reliable. I've been quite impressed with how good that is. We have a sleep mode measuring as well, which it measures really, really effectively. And I've been doing that for the last week or so, and I'll show you that on the app. But all of these apps are built in, but again, there's very limited functionality in the sense that, for example, for the camera, you see how it's disconnected from the phone already. So connectivity is probably the biggest weakness on this device. It will disconnect from my phone anyway, regularly. So if I restart the watch, or if I don't have the app open for a while, it just disconnects. Now it continues to function, it continues to measure things, but it's not actually connected to the phone. Now, if getting notifications on your watch is absolutely essential for you, then this might be a problem, because if we swipe up, we can see here, we'll get all of our notifications appear here, but we can't respond to anything on the watch. So that is a limitation straight away. If that's a problem for you, this might not be the watch for you. But for me, I quite like seeing that I've got a message, but not necessarily having to respond to it. It's useful on my other smartwatches, but I find that I can actually live without it. Now, if we swipe to the right, we've got these call functions. And now, if we go to our listing here, we actually can see phone numbers, but we have to manually input them for the watch via the app. So this doesn't have access to my phone book. I have to manually put them in, but we do have a keypad so I can dial numbers as well, which is pretty cool, but you obviously have to know it. And that's very, very cool, but you have to manually input or send the numbers from your app to the watch. Now, this is one of the issues with disconnection as well. I can't display the weather at the moment because it's disconnected by itself. If I open the app, of course, it will connect automatically. Heart rate measurements, I found this to be very, very reliable. I have a pretty good resting BPM. I get alerts because my heart rate does go below 40 BPMs because I'm relatively fit. And then, of course, I've got my activity rings that get filled in here as well. And all of that is adjustable. Coming to watch faces, you can actually select them as you would imagine by pressing and holding. You've got some pretty funky styles, and inside the app is where you get all of your watch faces, and there are enough to keep you entertained for now, I have to say. So they are pretty good, and I really, really like them. But like I say, the brightness of this panel is really what makes this very powerful. I've only got it on, 40%, but you can make it brighter, level 5. But as you just saw, it has to be done manually. It will not adjust automatically based on having a sensor under the screen. So you have to do this yourself. But I find that between 2 and 3 is perfectly adequate in most situations. I live in a very bright country, so even seeing it outside is actually not at all any problem whatsoever. And I actually really, really like it for that reason. So the panel is absolutely winning, and the fact that the battery life, which is the next thing, has lasted 5 days without any issue is really, really cool. You don't have any always on display, as you would imagine, of course, but you do have raise wrist. So obviously when I tilt the wrist and lift it up, switches the screen on, which works 95% of the time. Again, this is a little bit of a problem because it doesn't always react when it comes up. I've had one crash on the software, which basically meant it completely froze. I had to press and hold the power button for 10 seconds, and then it rebooted and it started working again. I've only had that once, but again, this is a first iteration device, so it's kind of to be expected. All around though, I am very pleased with this watch. The little logo is a nice little touch, but this wristband as well is, it's cheap, it's cheerful. This is gonna be plastic, but it's comfortable enough. It's definitely light enough and it's comfortable enough to wear for basically all day long. I have had no problem with this whatsoever. Okay, switching over to the Buds Pro, and we can see here from this packaging, CMF are really pioneering some very cool packaging, minimal packaging, which is very good for the environment. Both are absolutely identical in terms of having this minimalist design cut out inside the box. You get very, very minimal items inside both of these. Obviously, you get the earbuds there and a charging cable here and a guide along with a QR code. And that's it. You get the same for the watch, QR code, quick guide, charging cable, and the straps go there as well. So very, very simple. I do like the packaging, I have to say. It's very efficient, very good. And even the box itself that the earbuds come in is pretty good. As mentioned already, you get a light indicator on the front to show that obviously there's power. You get a connection button on the front here as well. But when you open the device and put it anywhere near an Android, in my case, it automatically pops up offering in order to connect. Now, the specifications on this watch are actually quite impressive, and I was looking at them in terms of what they are comparable to, and I was looking at the OnePlus Pro 2R, confusing. They are €100, and I was looking at the specs on both, and they are exactly the same. So if we were to look side by side, we've basically got 45 decibel active noise cancellation on these, matching the OnePlus Buds Pro 2Rs, 6 mics, 5.3 connectivity. I had no connectivity issues with these earbuds whatsoever. They connect really, really well and very fast. We've got 5,000 hertz noise cancellation. The noise cancellation on these, I would give them like a 3 out of 5. They are okay, maybe 2.5. They're not, I mean, as soon as you put them in, If you've got it active, the noise cancelling does switch on and you can sense it. But when I'm out and about, it's not as quiet as I would like it to be, not as comparable to some of the other Pro buds, shall we say, that are available. They are IP54. They've got 39 hours of total playback time. Of course, if you put them in the case for 10 minutes, you get an additional 5 hours listening time. So that is very, very impressive. They can charge up very, very quick. The built-in app which comes onto your phone is the Nothing app for audio. So if you've ever used any of the earbuds from Nothing, which I love, they're actually my favorite ones, the app is very straightforward and they work really, really well. So you can adjust the you can adjust the EQ exactly as you would like. It says it's got a very custom ultra bass technology. I wouldn't say it's as bassy as some of the other Nothing earphones, shall we say, but it is there. They are definitely good value for the price here, and comparable, I would say, to the OnePlus earbuds, which are double the price, but are fundamentally exactly the same. Now, to look at, these actually look amazingly like, as you would imagine, Apple EarPods. Very, very similar. The stem is different, with, of course, the signature logo, but this device also has 6 mics built into it for noise cancelling and, of course, for voice calls. Now, voice calls I've actually found to be very, very good. The audio quality when I listen to audio books and or have phone calls, these have been good. So in terms of value for money, you really can't go wrong. And for comfort, I have to say, these actually surprised me. These are probably a 4.5 out of 5. Not the most comfortable, but definitely not uncomfortable. And I can wear these for more than maybe an hour at a time before they start to bother my ears, which is commonly the case with earbuds. So overall, a really, really impressive first round from CMF in relation to earbuds, especially for the price. So these are winners. Okay, so that was a closer look at the CMF Watch there and the Buds Pro as well. So for the price, where you were looking at 69.99 euros for the watch and for 49.99 for the earbuds, I think these are both really good value for money. In terms of quality, the earbuds for me are a little bit better quality because of the issues that I mentioned already in relation to the watch, having a few connectivity issues. It does disconnect every now and then. The phone book is not automatically synced. You have to manually input them into the watch in order to call them, but you can make calls via the watch. And of course, connectivity issues that I mentioned already are a bit of a problem in that when you do want to check the weather, sometimes it's just not connected to the watch or to the phone even, and so then it won't update by itself using any Wi-Fi signals. But once you start using it, or obviously if you go into the app on the phone, then it will automatically connect and rework again, but it's not consistently connected. So you can tell this is the first iteration of this watch. But it definitely has strengths from the panel itself. I'm really impressed with the OLED panel on here. It's very bright, works really, really well. But again, it's not auto-adjusting based on ambient light. So you have to go into your settings in order to adjust that. But if you can live with those things, and based on the fact that it is such good value for money, I would recommend it. I would recommend the watch as a basic watch, maybe something for your kid, maybe as a spare watch. Even for the fitness tracking, it was perfectly acceptable. And even for the heart rate monitoring overnight as well, it was absolutely comparable with my Apple Watch that I was testing as well. And if you look at them, most people confuse this for an Apple Watch. So if you're looking for a dummy look-alike watch for the Apple Watch, then this will fool most people. And I have to say, I really, really like it. And for that value, it is well worth it. If you were paying over 100 euros, I wouldn't recommend it. But this one is definitely good value and very, very well accepted. So for a first iteration from CMF, I'd say really well done. And these earphones, for their price point, are completely acceptable. You can find competitors selling for double the price, and they're very, very similar in terms of their ANC and in terms of their power output and sound quality as well. Very much on par with around sub 100 mark earphones and these earbuds, and these are $49.99. Massive deal. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you got some value. Look forward to seeing you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Put your comments below. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on these awesome devices and whether you would consider getting them. And I'll see you very, very soon for my next video. Bye-bye for now.